Greetings, kings and queens. I am Tara Merchant. I am the CEO of Yada TV, and I am also the media consultant with Upscale Magazine Media Group. And I am here. Matter of fact, I'm honored. I'm here with the Wood family.
Thank you.
And they are the family, first family of fashion, if you will. And they are 5001 Flavors clothing line. And so much more. But we're going to get into that later. Okay? How y'all doing?
We are fine. We are blessed. Thank you for
That is
being
so,
here.
thank you for accepting my invitation.
Yeah.
It is so, it's such an honor, and you guys are just phenomenal
Thank
in
you.
Thank you.
everything.
Thank you.
So let's just start, like, for those who may not know who or what 5001 Flavors are, let them know.
5001 Flavors is a custom company, clothing company. We make a lot of the entertainers' clothing. So we've been in existence since 1991, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, and we do all the singers and rappers and athletes' clothing.
Wow.
So we actually have been around since early 90s. We just celebrated our 30th anniversary, so we're super excited. We're approaching our
Wow.
31st year in business as 5001 Flavors.
Mm-hmm.
It's a custom clothing company. We cater to all types of personalities in the entertainment industry for big screen, small screen, red carpet tours, award shows. We've worked with the who's who for the last 30 years.
Okay.
We're multi-generational right now. We work with a lot of clients and their children, so we're super proud to be multi-generational. And, you know, just proud to be here after 30 years in business.
I know that's right, because it takes a lot.
Yes.
Definitely.
Tenacity, it takes a lot. Well, what was the evolving point of growing your business into a fashion, retail, like you guys do everything?
So the goal with 5001 was definitely to do more wardrobe styling, image consulting, and Guy continues to do that with our clients. We've worked with all different genres of music, athletes, moguls, behind the scenes, and that really is very exclusive. We work with a lot of production companies, but it's usually more consulting based, where our clients live and play. And so I knew that I wanted to create more of a mass marketing opportunity, mass retail, and I knew that we couldn't do it with 5001 Flavors, so Harlem Haberdashery was born with the creativity of Guy as a creative director, and now we've brought in more of our family members, our kids, my brother. And so now it's about creating a lifestyle brand. And so Harlem Haberdashery was created to be a lifestyle brand that could really kind of multiply. It could be franchised, it could have different categories, it could reach different areas, it could be international. So it was more of a destination spot. So instead of working with clients, we work with people who are not celebrities but have their own red carpet moments.
Awesome.
And so the goal wasn't really to create a family fashion legacy, but then it happened because now, Guy Jr. and Kels have their own lines, but the concept really didn't hit me until we had this, and it was more of a brand aesthetic that we can establish, a retail brick and mortar where people could come to. Since then, we've kind of talked about it off scene, but we expanded from 5001 to Harlem Haberdashery, and then did a further brand expansion into another category when we created HH Bespoke Spirit and Beverages. So we have a curated collection of spirits. We have a gin, a rum, and a vodka, and we also expanded into alkaline water product. So the goal really is now to create that transferable legacy of businesses, of transferable wealth that we're trying to create, and trying to build up that Black Wall Street that everyone is talking about.
Absolutely, and I think that is so much needed for this generation.
Yes.
That they'll learn the importance of being in business and how to maintain,
Yes.
and not just throw away, money just throwing it away.
Yeah.
Who
truly.
came up with the name Haberdashery? What's behind that?
Well, I came up with the name haberdashery. It's just a word like bespoke clothing. Most people think it's hats, but it's not hats. It's just fine clothing.
Okay.
So I just wanted something that had a ring to it, that people would avoid a conversation.
Oh,
Like
okay.
most people didn't know what the word haberdashery was, so
Right.
yeah, I
Absolutely.
figured it fits our aesthetic.
Okay. It's art. I know that.
Yes.
Mhm. What are some of the highlights and lessons learned on this journey that you've been on?
That's a good one.
I guess for me, being an entrepreneur was always about being able to create your own economy.
Mm.
It was about being able to make your own roadmap about how you wanted to live your life, how much money you wanted to make. Because I always felt like you're never paid what you're worth when you work for someone else.
Right.
Right.
So the most important lesson I would have learned is that you can create your own economy, but it takes a lot more strategy, probably a lot more strategy than I thought. It takes a lot of flexibility because you have to be ever changing.
Right.
Technology changes, you have to change with it.
Mhm.
Trends change. COVID told us that you have to pivot to different revenue streams.
Mhm.
So you have to constantly be evolving. You can't just start in the same place. And so you have to
Absolutely.
be flexible. So I think for me, the biggest lesson would be how to be flexible is to be an entrepreneur.
Truly, and you have to move, on your feet always. You always have to think, and every decision you make is not life and death, but
Right.
it's crucial.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Choices is
yeah,
very
choices
important.
is very crucial.
Very important.
So we try to put ourselves in great market space
Mhm.
where we don't have much competition or people are doing what we're doing. But that's the way we've been strategizing ourselves. And my wife is the head. She's
I know.
the brains of the operation.
That's right, girl. That's right. That's right. But listen, as entrepreneurs, right? You know, your husband and wife first,
Mhm.
your parents. You have. How do you balance all of that?
Well, all the time I say I'm part magician because you do have to be a magician to figure everything out. But even your business becomes kind of like a child that you nurture and watch and grow. And so you have to
Absolutely.
treat everything with equal respect and reverence. And everything is just as important, but at different points in the day and different times of the week. So you have cycles where today is I'm going to concentrate on family day. That could be your Saturday or Sunday. Or today I'm
Right.
concentrating on me. Or today this is a straight 5,001 day because we have deadlines. And so to me, it's not about having it all. It definitely is about being able to try to balance it. But some balls are going to drop. So it's not like you're balancing and you're perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But I try to approach everything in my life as equally important in its time. And if something does fall, I don't worry about it too much. I'll pick it back up because that's the only way that you really can be not too, stressed but still blessed.
Ooh, say that one more time. I like that.
Well, please, I don't want to be stressed, but just blessed. Say it
I
again.
like that. I love that.
What I do is when I get home, I turn my phone off.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So now it's family time.
Now that's
I'm gonna
hard for a lot of
yeah,
us.
but what you have to do is you have to set boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you were working at a retail establishment,
Mm-hmm.
when you go home, you go home. The
That's
customer
right.
can't call you
That's
at
right.
10 o'clock at night and want to discuss something that we could discuss in the morning.
Yeah.
So I learned to set boundaries. I learned there's a time to talk about business and there's a time to talk about personal stuff.
Absolutely.
If I'm in bed before she's in bed,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna start asking, did this wire come through, did this check, did that?
You
Sometimes.
better not.
Sometimes.
I try to, I want to, but then I say,
Right.
you know what?
Yeah.
This is her time. Or
Right.
she'll sit out on the couch and watch TV or watch on her phone, watch a movie before she'll come to bed because that's her time to woosah. You know what I'm saying? Because all day she's running and all day I'm running. So sometimes I come home, I don't even speak because I've been talking all day long.
Right.
So
And it's no pun intended.
Yeah.
Just
But we
tired.
yeah, but we understand that about
Right.
each other. So we leave each other alone. We give each other space.
Wow.
So it's not constantly talking about
business.
business because what we could discuss in the morning is not going to change at 11:30 at night.
Wow. That's
So,
good.
You just have to.
And that's my next question. Like, how would you tell someone or a couple that's just coming into this type of business or any business, and they want to know, well, how did you do it? How did you make, it's hard. We want to
Yeah.
give up. Oh, it's not, how do you, what would you tell someone they're in here, but
Mhm.
they're like, nah, let me just, because it's not happening fast enough.
Well, one thing, you have to be a multitasker, because
Mhm.
when I come into work, my family's here, my coworkers are here,
Mhm.
but we're also all concentrating on like the collective economics of working together and building each other's brand. So you have to really come with a different attitude.
Mhm.
Sometimes this is not my husband, this is my coworker, because we're doing coworker things, and so you do really have to I can't even say it. You have to separate
Mhm.
what you're doing.
Right.
And so when it's time for me to be a mom, sometimes that overlaps with me being, president and CEO.
Right.
Sometimes it doesn't even matter. When I go to pick up my daughter, I'm Sydney's mom. None
Right.
of what I'm doing matters. I'm literally
Mhm.
Sydney's mom, and I have been for the last 14 years
All
there.
right.
And so you have to understand that sometimes your role changes, and a lot of times people, they're not flexible. They don't understand that today this is the role that I'm playing.
Mhm.
You might be president and CEO, but you also might be someone that sweeps. You're somebody that takes out the trash. And so as an entrepreneur, you're everything.
Yeah.
Right.
And then as a married couple, you have to respect those roles when it's time to be in that situation. So
Mhm.
you have to be ever changing about what you're doing. And so I would probably say not be too rigid, and love the brand just like you love your marriage, and respect it,
Absolutely.
and respect each other.
Right.
That would,
Totally have to respect each other and respect each other's decisions.
Mhm.
Because sometimes people don't understand, like, Shay doesn't have to call me to make a decision.
Mhm.
We have boundaries, we talk about what we want or what we need,
Mhm.
but she can make a decision without, and that blows people's mind. Oh, well, if you don't have to call anybody to make a decision,
Right. And that's
because
sometimes
she's the
people.
boss. But
And-
we're both bosses.
Exactly.
So we already had a conversation, we already know what we want.
Mhm.
So if she negotiates, and if I felt that we could have got more or could have been, I keep that to myself. It doesn't matter. Like you understand what I'm saying? You
It's the
respect.
team.
Yeah.
You
Team.
respect each person's
Yes, you do.
decision.
Right.
You know
and
what I'm
sometimes
saying?
executive decisions have to be made.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
That's
Yeah.
true.
but you have to
So
own that.
Yeah,
But
you
you do
don't
have to
sit
have an
around and-
understanding and conversation about that.
Mhm.
Also, there are different roles that you don't know that you have to play until you're presented with them. So
Exactly.
being an entrepreneur is not very finite, it's not defined, so you never know, what role you're gonna play that day, what's gonna come up. So a lot of this is flying by the seat of your pants.
That's true.
But
Yeah.
you have to make the best decision for yourself and your brand. And so I think if you always keep your brand and yourself first,
Mhm.
things always work out.
Mhm.
That's true. That is
Yeah.
so true. 31 years.
Yeah.
31 years.
It flew.
Did you ever think that it would get to this point? Well, I knew you knew it was going to be. What was your thoughts?
My thought was always to work for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So when this came to me, I spoke to Shay. Shay was in college at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, and she was super supportive. She was like, "Oh yeah." I think like the next day she ordered labels and she
Uh-huh.
trademarked the name. And
See, that was the
but
one
that-
right there.
but
See?
that's what you need.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
You can
right.
be creative,
That's right.
but you need that business person.
Yes. Support.
You need
Yes.
that support. You need
Mhm.
somebody that really understands business.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we work so good together, because I could be creative and I could, pick out colors and all, there's things that is important to me.
Mm-hmm.
But for Shay, she's a number person. She crunches the numbers, makes sure it's right. I could trust her with my life. So of course she's my wife.
All right.
But before she was my wife, I knew that.
All
I
right
knew
now.
she was the one. Like, especially in
Yes.
business, she was on point.
That is so
I could have
awesome.
never got to this point in life without having Shay next to me.
Oh.
Then my
That's so
son and my
sweet.
brother, all of us work for the same goal.
Yes.
So that's the beautiful thing. That
Absolutely.
we, you know what I'm saying, that we all work for the same goal and we all want to see each other win.
That's right.
So it's not like there's no competition, there's no nothing. We want to see each other win.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the beauty of doing business with family. It's
Absolutely.
like, this is not a hustle, this is not, everybody, they all graduated college, all the kids. Now, the good thing is I never went to college, but I just had to drive. So they took the book smarts plus the style, put it together. Now they're 10 times better than me.
But you-
Because, no, I'm just saying because
You
of
did
the,
something right.
no, because I know, you gotta guide them the right direction.
There you go.
And I opened the door and I got out the way.
That, see,
You know what I'm
see.
saying?
But you know what? You know, it's a blessing because there's a lot of single homes, single family homes, and when you have both parents,
Mm-hmm.
and regardless of your walk,
Right.
as long as you had that close knit and you had that tenacity to say, look, we gonna do
Right.
this, we gonna be here.
Right.
You know, that's what's important
And the beautiful thing,
nowadays.
they're all mid-30s,
All right.
so they watched it grow.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have to sell them.
They know.
They saw it.
That's
They
right.
saw it.
All
They
right.
they remember. So it's not, they remember beans, Franks and beans. They remember that.
Okay.
Now they can eat fancy.
All right.
They know it. So it's
Did- did-
different. Like the youngest one, no, she can't talk.
She don't know
nothing.
about that.
She
She
don't
don't
know
know
nothing
about that. Okay.
Yeah.
But I listen. That is,
Mm-hmm.
you guys are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Just so phenomenal,
Mhm.
and like I said, the tenacity and how you're still here
Yeah.
and you're standing,
Yeah.
Yes.
and the fact that we've had this pandemic, which
Mhm.
scared a lot of us. It scared us.
Yes.
Yeah.
We didn't know what was gonna happen,
Mm-hmm.
but you made it.
Yeah. Truly.
Yes.
You made it, and
Yeah.
that is something that is so. It's a blessing.
Yeah.
It is.
It really is a blessing.
That was
Now-
that was a wake up.
You tell me
Yeah,
about it.
That was a wake up. Because
It-
things that you thought was important was
Yes.
not really important.
It wasn't,
Yeah.
and it sure didn't it bring out some creativity
Yeah.
too.
No, you
It
had
did.
to.
Yes.
You had
A
to.
lot of accidental entrepreneurs. came out.
Okay, you had to figure it out.
Yeah, you had to.
You had to figure it out.
Truly.
50 years coming up, hip hop.
Mhm.
Hip hop has been very pivotal in a lot of your what you do
Yeah.
day to
that's
day.
success.
How does that 50-year mark, and you have such a significance in that?
So it really is. The quote, "I never thought hip hop would take us this far," is for real. Like I feel that all the time because growing up in the early &90s, a lot of the forming companies were led by people who traditionally didn't have a place in corporate America, and
Right.
so a lot of our brothers and sisters were just creative. And so I'm so thankful for hip hop because it gave a lot of people a lot of opportunities to create brands, to motivate market, to make money, to change the world. And so what used to be urban is now mainstream. And so now you can't have music without hip hop influence, a beat, a song, a reference, a sample. And so I remember a lot of these artists that we were working with literally like unsigned hype to mega stardom. So I'm super excited to call some of them our clients. But now I realize that as we were dressing people, we weren't just making clothes, we were making history. And so now, as a lot of the personalities are turning 50, having grandkids, having other, kids, growing up right behind them, now I'm realizing the generational effect of hip hop. And so we are also in that phase now with our kids and my brother younger coming behind us. And so you never really thought that this is a family business now.
Yeah.
And so I'm proud to be part of, the 50 years of hip hop. Proud to be recognized as being like a pivotal part of history and being recognized by different institutions for cultural relevance by putting some of our clothing in cultural institutions. We made a donation to a few different cultural institutions. So now it's just not just clothing; it's part of history.
Exactly.
And so we're making history, we're telling history, we're part of history. So I'm excited about that.
That's awesome, and a lot of people don't even know you're in the Smithsonian.
We're in the Smithsonian. We're in a few different cultural museums, hip hop museum, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh.
Yeah, we're in a few different places, and I'm proud to be there to represent our work, but also to stand alongside our clients.
You know what? I am absolutely proud.
Thank you.
I have so much, I don't know, it's like I'm in front of royalty, and you are.
Oh, I love
You
that.
are.
Thank you.
And I want to just say thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For
welcome.
everything that you have done and contribute. Thank you for not seeing this as just a fix, but as a
Right.
legacy.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much for that,
Thank you.
you know? And a lot of people don't realize, that day that you're born,
Mhm.
that year, and then that year that you leave, that dash,
That's
I say
important.
your dashes, well done.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Well
Appreciate-
done.
Thank you, Tyra.
Appreciate you.
So we thank you,
Mhm.
and we gonna see each other again.
Yes.
Okay, just let's
Yes.
get this clear. But it's a family thing now.
Yes.
Yes.
hmm Blessings in everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
we're done.
Bless you.
Thank you, Miss Tyra.
Tap. Thank you.
I'm looking over. I'm
Thank
looking.
you.
No, it's
Forgive
all
me.
right. No.
And I ain't got my glasses on, y'all.
Oh,
Here's
here's
our
my
little
glasses
one.
our little one.
All right, I am back. And this time I have before me two kings,
Yes.
Mr. Kells Barnett
There you go.
and Mr. Guy Wood Jr.
Yes.
Yes.
Pleasure.
And I'm here, I'm honored, and we just gonna sit down and rap a taste a little bit.
There we
All
go.
right? And first I wanna ask Mr. Barnett, what is it that you do with 5001 Flavors or outside of 5001 Flavors?
Wow. What's great about working with this family is that your job continuously changes.
Every day.
So one day I'm marketing, next day I'm security.
Okay.
And, that's the beautiful thing about working with our family is that the title of what you do is kind of interchangeable. Outside of 5001 and Flavors in Harlem Haberdashery, I have my own retail stores. I have my own brand, my own nonprofit. So it's like all of the things that I learned from just being around this family, being around Guy and Shay, I now implement in other things that I'm doing outside of the family. Because what I realized as we were building Harlem Haberdashery, that you need other things of your own outside of the family. So it's like the family is the umbrella, and all of these things that I introduce separately, or like Guy would introduce separately of his own, is under the umbrella of our brand. So I have a retail store called The Gold Standard, a nonprofit, Take Care of Harlem.
What is that about?
Wow, Take Care of Harlem is a hashtag call to action. Just doing everything that needs to be done in Harlem. We clean, we do a prom drive, a toy drive, just a little bit of
Prom?
everything.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
just
nice.
literally take care of Harlem.
Okay.
And what I really like about it is I like it when other organizations use the hashtag. So the name of my organization is Take Care of Harlem, but the hashtag, like I said, is a call to action. So even if you're not a part of Take Care of Harlem, you can use the hashtag if you're doing something dope or great in Harlem. And I really appreciate like when I see somebody that's hiring use the hashtag, somebody that's cleaning up their neighborhood or doing something dope in their hood.
That is
Yeah,
beautiful.
it helps to spread
That's
the
a beautiful
awareness.
thing.
Right.
And this is Mr. Guy Woods.
Yes,
What's your role in this?
it's same. Every day it changes, but I'm with my father every day, handling the day to day, dealing with clients, fittings, buying fabric, delivering clothes, everything in between.
Wow.
hmm
How did the liqueur,
The spirits.
the spirits?
Man, so what's crazy about most of the things that we do, it happens like organically. The spirits, we do a black tie, an annual black tie every year. And one year we were looking for spirit partners, and we found the little distillery. Like, well, have you guys ever thought about come up with your own spirits? Like, not really, but not
Yeah,
really. Like,
let's do it.
yeah, like it's like a thought, but you're like, I didn't know that was a thought, and
Wow.
it happened just as easy as that. What's
Nice
crazy
and
was
organic.
the design of the bottle was harder than coming up with the name, because we realized once we started venturing out to all of these different things outside of clothing, that we wanted to get into lifestyle products. So we have the liquor, we have the water, we're about to drop glasses like eyewear. So we're just trying to get into more and more things, just we got fashion figured out, or as much as we can figure it out.
Okay.
Let's think about other things we could do. So the spirit birthed a lot of other things, and was dope as all of these opportunities birthed other opportunities. So it's really great, and now we have more family members coming in and coming up with their brands and stuff that they're doing, and it's great. The more the merrier. So
You know what? And I really appreciate the alkaline water
yes,
that you have.
Yeah.
Because now you're going into a realm where you're offering health, because
Yep,
that
and
helps with a
wellness.
lot of things that we deal with within the black community.
Right.
Diabetes, cancer,
Mhm.
hypertension, everything. So that alkaline is really an awesome thing.
right.
You know, and wow, you guys are phenomenal. Like,
I appreciate it.
yeah.
And it's crazy, like you never realize some of the dope stuff you doing until someone mentions it, or till you take a step back. Cause like it's like on like just autopilot. Like I just go and somebody has to remind you, or like me and Shay's mom is so invested in all of the little things that we do, and we just going. We don't even pay attention to it. Like we're honored to be able to get award and to get recognized, but it's so, my mind is always just so much going that I don't even have time to process some of the good things that are happening
Yeah.
to us. I just always try to be grateful, thankful that it's happening, but you on to something else because my mind is just continuously going.
Right. You don't sleep, do you?
Believe it or not, yeah, I actually do sleep, and I do have a lot. I give myself a lot of boundaries, and my boundaries are like are hardcore. Like there is no bend or breaking it, because like I realized early on, you're gonna burn yourself out if you don't have boundaries. So like, even if I don't sleep, I do a lot of self-care. So
That's
you know what I'm saying,
important.
like sleep or not, like my boundaries is my boundaries.
All right?
Yeah.
That's the truth. And I say that because I don't sleep.
Right.
Because, you know, your mind is going,
Mind is
going.
You have to shut it off.
You have to.
Yeah.
How?
I don't. If you had the answer, we could sell it. I don't know how.
Wow. So
I'm sorry, Tara. G, you didn't mention your business.
Yeah.
The name.
Billionaire.
Oh right.
yeah,
It's just a good deal.
okay.
Working with me.
Yes. Go.
Self-promotion is good.
All right, let's go.
Yes, and I have a brand as well, Billionaire New York. I do custom clothing as well, mostly formal wear.
All
So
right.
suits, tuxedos. I do a lot of weddings, proms, special engagements.
Y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. All right. I didn't know that.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow. I'm gonna need that dress.
Oh yeah, we do gowns as well.
Okay. All right. All right. So where do you see yourself in like 15 years?
15 years.
Yes.
Still with family.
Absolutely. Do you see the growth? What do you see?
Yeah, every day is growing.
I would love to just for us to expand to other cities, and like I said, we're welcoming of anyone who wants to come around and soak up this knowledge. You know, the thing as a family business where we get the most is people ask for jobs, and I say the only job I could really give you is for you to come around and soak up the knowledge. Like I can't
Get them where you fit in.
I can't pay you to do a job I can do myself. Like my goal is help as many people as possible launch something else. And my thinking behind that is that at any given moment, the spotlight hits different people, and I'm not always gonna be hot. G is not gonna always be hot. This brand may not always be hot. But if we set up each other individually, when I'm not hot, you hot. Or when it's your
That's
time to shine,
awesome.
yeah, like that's my
That's
thinking behind
awesome.
that. Like hopefully, if I help somebody do something, they could get on, and then one day they could give me a job. You know what I'm saying? So
You never know.
like yeah, like we're real welcoming of anyone that wants to come be a part of our family, even if you're not blood or extended, because the opportunity that I realized that we have other people didn't have, and although you know we've been in this business for a lot of decades, we're still learning ourselves.
Right.
So I don't have all the answers, but what I can offer you is just a time and a space to just come and be around these conversations. Like sometimes learning for me is just sitting at the office and listening
Absolutely.
to a guy talk with a client. It doesn't lessons are in language, and most people don't realize that you don't have to go to school to be learning things.
You
So
really
if you
don't.
want to just come around and learn, but my goal in 15 years is to us expand, put more people in position to win because it helps us all win.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That is so powerful. Because nowadays, I think more so, we really need to come together.
Right.
And there's so much power with us.
Yeah, strength
And
in
it's
numbers.
just, yes, it is. And it's a shame sometimes that we don't realize the power that we have. You know, and if we just take that time to really get it together, if you will, the energy that you spend outside doing absolutely nothing, that energy can be placed somewhere where it's very lucrative. And when I say nothing, it's just you're wasting. Each day that we wake up is an opportunity.
But I think the reason for that is we don't, a lot of people don't value time the same way they value money. But to me, time is worth more than money. Like there are people who would drive 20 miles to save $100 on the TV, not realizing that they just spend gas money and time to go save that $100.
That's
Most
right.
people don't value time the same way they value money.
They really don't.
And that's why most people get stuck like in dead end jobs because they think they have more time. You know, you always see like the funny memes. You start a job one day and then you wake up, you did 15 years later with nothing absolutely to show for it. This is why like entrepreneurs are more risk takers because we're risk takers with time. We rather take the time to pour into our own brand, pour into ourselves.
That's right.
And you don't know what's at the end of that tunnel. That's
You
the
really
scary
don't.
thing about time. But like what you, back to your point, like just wasted time. Most people don't value time. That's why we waste it so much.
And that is the truth. And you just gotta take that risk. Because I know a lot of us, we scared to take risks.
It's scary.
It is. You scared because
Yeah, it's
a
unknown.
lot of us most weren't born with those silver spoons in our mouths. So it's like, okay, we gotta take what we got. This is what we got. No, you have to go beyond that. Think
Right.
outside the box and really believe and have
So,
faith.
like, that's even my thought process with, like, wanting to invite other people in, because it's like, my risk, like, being alone is scary. But if you put other people on, you know what I'm saying, the risk becomes less and less because the stronger I make you, the stronger I am, and then you get hot, and maybe we hot at the same time. So the risk just becomes less and less the more people you put on, because at any given moment, everybody in the family, whatever it is they're doing outside the family could be popping. And then that makes the family looks greater because what you're doing is also connected to me and what I'm doing is connected to you.
Right.
So the more people I put on, when you hot, I'm just hot by association. So my risk becomes less of me being a failure by myself than I'd rather fail as a family as in a whole, which at this point I think is impossible because everybody has set up other things than by myself. I don't want to fail. Failing by yourself is scary as hell.
It is.
Yeah.
Do you think it's good to have your business now as an IPO or just stay as private?
It's so it's a documentary called Fresh Dress, and Guy's actually featured in it. He talks about the way percentages work, and it's weird the way people hear numbers. Because if I offer you, if I'm willing to buy your company and tell you get 10%, and most people would take that not realizing that they just sold 90% of their company.
Right.
They just hear the number. If I tell you I'm gonna give you 10% of 100,000, you're like, oh, that's crazy. Why not just try to work to get the whole 100,000 yourself? So it's scary being private and being privately funded is scary as hell. But it's like I think that's why we lasted so long, and I think the misconception, especially in hip hop and fashion, is that other people are more successful than us because you see their name. But a lot of these people don't own their own name or company. We own our name and company.
You
So that's
see?
the difference, yeah. And we've had longevity, 30 straight years, not like out of business, not like we took a nap, like 30 straight years of being privately owned.
Just consistent.
Yeah.
That's the key.
That's awesome. That is so awesome because nowadays you just don't know.
You don't know.
You don't
And a lot of
know.
these people are not doing as great as you think they are because someone owns their company.
And it's all for show.
It's all for sure, yeah.
Well, that's also in the media
Yeah.
in itself. You know, I feel like in what I do, you know, a lot of we don't have that backing that we should have in that realm because somebody has someone's knee on
Right.
their neck.
And
So-
it's weird with the perception when you talk about media. Is this one publication? I won't say their name, but they had an article about like influential hip hop something. 95% of the article was 5001 Flavors. About 2% was another high-end brand, but the high-end brand was mentioned more than 5001 Flavors.
Credit.
Even when I reached out and mentioned it to the publication, because we're unknown, I'm like, it's all of our pictures. Like, so it's funny when you see celebrities get on TV and they say that they created this and created that. I'm like, if you don't say 5001 Flavors in the 90s, you're really telling the world a mistruth. So it's funny the way the media it's sometimes it's our own culture of media that perpetrates what's not true in our culture for clicks and likes, and this is great. But I think we've been able to stay here this long in business because it really doesn't matter. I'm aware of it, like say we're aware that these things happen, but it really doesn't affect us. But it is what it is.
That's right. You keep going.
Keep going. Gotta
Keep going. Keep on going. Keep going.
Every day.
Your day to day, day to day.
Yes.
How do you guys balance? Just balance that day to day. Shut it down.
I mean, at the end of the day, you just take it as it comes. In the morning, you might have your day scheduled and plan for one thing. The phone rings and then there's something totally different. You might have to fly to Atlanta. That was not in the plans. So you just have to take it as it comes and then
I know, right?
just handle each situation.
Right, right.
You gotta be flexible and
You can't be rigid at all.
yeah, a lot of people don't make it as an entrepreneur. A lot of people just don't make it in life. Not being flexible, like you
Yeah.
gotta be flexible. Like God said, like your day the world determines your day. You come into this with your to-do list. My to-do list is always like 4 pages long, and then the world comes and say, "No, let me have 4 more pages."
Put that to the side, do
Right.
this, move that.
Look,
That's
something happened to
true.
the store, something break.
Yeah, you never know.
We had a flood one time. It was crazy. Like it just changes. But that's the beautiful thing about having many people. You got
Yeah.
many
And it keeps
people.
life interesting.
It does keep life interesting. Right?
So do we have any surprises that we can expect coming?
I mean, life is a surprise. It might be a surprise at the end of the day.
All right.
No, it's a lot of surprises. We're working on a lot of cool things, and like what's dope about this, it never stops. Somebody could walk in and have a completely different idea of what we're doing, and then by the end of the week, we got a new business. So it's like that's how it happens. So I'm always excited for it. I'm always excited to hear what everyone else is working on outside of the family. And no, but everything is a surprise. So I don't even know right now.
Well, you know what? I am so honored. I am so honored to have excellence
Thank you.
in front of me.
Thank
And you brothers, y'all fine? They fine? All right. God's blessings,
Thank you.
Yes,
prosperity, and just keep on doing what you're doing.
every day.
Yeah.
Just keep on.
Yes.
Thank you, brothers.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.